and mornings. Like, I don't know.
Wait, Chris, you're in Australia. Daniel, you're in Taiwan.
So Daniel, what time
right?
is it there right now?
Okay, all right, just it's Easter
today. Away you go. Yeah,
just say g'day and
we don't
everything.
have that little Swiss Army knife word in our language. I guess you know what I mean. Like in our version of English, we don't have that. Yeah,
I think in Baltimore, it's why are you talking?
Yeah. So Chris, man, welcome. How are you? Yeah, it's exciting. Daniel's he shouldn't be here.
Well, he shouldn't be here.
He shouldn't be here.
He shouldn't be here. Yeah.
He shouldn't be.
Yeah, let's jump right into that. But real quick, I just wanted to say welcome back, Daniel, because this is your second time on the show. You're a small fraternity. There's only a couple of you that have been on twice.
I feel like I talk to this guy every week now. We got a WhatsApp thing where I got a phone call with one of his prospective clients tomorrow.
Well, welcome
too,
back,
so
Daniel.
we're having a good time.
Thank you.
Second dates are good.
It's always nice to be on a second date.
Feels like it might be going somewhere, huh?
A second date. That's good callback.
I have the actual pleasure of speaking with him every week, even though he isn't in the same country or part of Australia. So that's a really good.
Well, then let's use that as like our entry point.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Your story is pretty intense, man. We usually ask how you got here, but I kind of really want to more know that. Like, let's talk about that.
Maybe the better question is how are you still here?
Yeah, so I can start that if you like. So let's
go, man. Start it from wherever you want, Chris.
So I was having some weird episodes where I was smelling basically something that smelled like it was on fire. It smelled like something was burning. And my doctor sent me to a therapist to go and check my nasal and see what's going on. They ended up giving me a really nice nasal therapist spray that did absolutely nothing. And about 3 weeks later, on my drive to work on a main road here in South Australia, I had a seizure, but a very unusual one, where I was still conscious. I was in the right-hand lane of the street.
Yep.
And here in Adelaide, that means you're in the middle of the problem. But I had one of my eyes. We see everything upside down with both of our eyes, and our brain flips it up the right way. It stopped flipping it up the right way for one of my eyes. So my brain decided that everything needed to be upside down and the right way up. So as I turned my head left and right, I was seeing everything sort of meshed over itself. And I was trying to drive at the same time, doing about 40 kilometers an hour on a main road here. And during that time, all I did was focus on the number plate of the car in front of me so that it didn't get bigger or smaller. Because I decided if I just don't change lanes, I can at least see the number plate in front of me as a little white rectangle. It says keep that the same size until whatever is happening.
That goes through your head, but pull the fuck over doesn't ever once get into it.
Well, you were in the middle, huh?
Yeah, so pulling over at that point was basically impossible. So I said, I can't do it to myself. But thankfully my eye got better after about 30 to 40 seconds, which was very bizarre. I pulled over until I stopped sweating because my whole body was so saturated with sweat from panic. But I was close to work. So I got to work. After that, I was on the phone to my wife for the rest of the drive to work, just keeping her in the loop as to what happened. And when I got to the office, my boss took me straight to hospital, where I spent the whole day getting some tests done, getting all sorts of blood tests done, some theoretical tests, and then they finally did a scan, and they found a large unwelcome guest in my brain. They found what they believed to be some swelling. And then I went to a big hospital here in South Australia, and they did a larger test and a larger scan. And it turned out that it wasn't swelling, it was all cancer. I'm talking about the size of my fist. So it's about 8 centimeters long in its length and about 6 centimeters across. Huge. And so I had no idea it was there until that day. And then the seizures started happening a lot more frequently. So over the next 6 weeks, I was given some anti-seizure medication that kept having to get higher because my seizures were getting more frequent. And then I had a stroke after 6 weeks. Wow. So then I got taken to my local hospital, and then I had to get transferred back to this big one, which was near my work. And after looking at the scan, a portion of my tumor had actually doubled in size in 6 weeks as well. So there's a bit in the middle, which got so much larger in such a short space of time they got very confused and concerned. So they got in there and they drilled into the side of my skull, scooped out the bit that was doubling in size. And then they found out that it's not actually a stage 1 like their original prognosis, but it was in fact a stage 3 astrocytoma with an incredible rate of growth. And they were saying, look, we can't do any operation on there because of where it lays. It's right on my sensory spots. So if they operated and tried to remove, there is a 100% chance I'd become a complete vegetable, unable to speak, cooperate, talk, move, do anything. There's a high chance I'd die in the operation. So there was no chance of operation happening. And they didn't really want to do any preparation for anything else because it would take too long to start a treatment. And they gave me about 6 weeks to live. They said,
wow.
So this is October of 2022 at this point. And they've said, look, because of the rate of growth and location, celebrate Christmas early with your family and your kids because you're probably not going to make it there.
That's an intense day.
Wow.
Fuck.
So I've got to.
I'm like, I think the American medical system, it would have bankrupted you.
Here's my little tattoo of my family on my arm as well. So there's my young boy, my beautiful daughter, my wife, and myself. I had that done about 2 weeks before I found out all the chaos.
Oh my God.
This beautiful tattoo. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to try and fight it. Even though they said, look, best thing to do is probably just enjoy what you can. So I went to my local hospital instead, and they decided to hit me with radiotherapy and chemotherapy, both at the same time. Normally it's one, then a break, then the other. They hit me with 6 straight weeks of both.
Jeez.
So every single day I had radiotherapy, and every single day I had chemotherapy for 6 straight weeks. And my last day of all of that treatment was Christmas Eve. So I did 6 straight weeks of both. My goodness, it was quite an adventure, very battling, but I made it there. I made it to Christmas.
So, like, by all accounts, though, by everything you know at this point,
down at the hospital,
you're basically signing up to be in this, like, very challenging treatment for what amounts to the rest of your life, right? Like,
could be the rest of your life. Yeah.
Intense.
Correct.
Like, wow.
So clearly it kept you alive longer. Yeah.
Yeah. So that particular treatment, the guys that decided, you know, let's throw everything at him that we possibly can. And I didn't just listen to the medical realm. With spiritual healing and naturopath and all the rest, I did everything that I could get my hands on.
Yeah.
It wasn't just one thing. I thought, look, if there's anything out there that can help me right now.
I'm a Buddhist, I'm a Christian, I'm a Jew, I'm in everything. You throw the fucking sink at me, bro. Like everything. Yeah.
Yeah. Whoever can give me something to do, because I spent a lot of time in bed during that initial treatment because I was so exhausted and mangled from it. I needed something to do. So I was still trying to do prayers. I was trying to do anything you could think of. During my 23 hours of a day that I was in bed, I was doing something that I think was still productive and helpful. So I made it to Christmas, celebrated, took a photo, sent a picture to the original therapies that told me I wouldn't make it to Christmas, and I was like, haha, guess who made it? And here I am. And then I did another 7 months of chemo after that as well. So another 7 months of chemotherapy after that. And at the end of that period, my tumor had not grown even 1%, which even the doctors that were treating me said best case scenario is we can slow it down. But the reality is it hadn't just been slowed down, it was stopped. So it had not improved or gained any size over what was a total of 8.5 months. So there was no growth across the whole tumor. Whereas there was a 6-week period where it doubled in size with a bit. So the difference is quite massive. So my chemotherapy stopped, and then I went, I was able to do a lot of things off of my bucket list. So I went swimming with great white sharks. We went on a couple of beautiful holidays with my family. So that
you could have just let the cancer take you. I don't know why you doing high-risk behaviors
like,
there,
I got
man.
Skydive sharks.
I survived. I'm going to jump in the,
I'd rather make a fun story about fighting a great white shark.
I've always wanted to fight those people in the inner city, too, and see what happens. We'll just go down and take care of it all.
I feel like all I'm going to do is make really dark jokes and then feel bad about it, Chris. I'm sorry.
No, you can make as many, please. I don't mind. I have a disability park, and I have a lot of people that go, "Oh, is someone disabled in your car?" I say, "No, I'm the one with disability. I'm a young fellow. I look quite healthy.
They're like, "Who's this prick?"
I look normal. I can speak."
Yeah.
They go, "What's wrong with you?" And
we interviewed a guy that had water on his brain, and he gets grief. Like, he goes, "Look, it takes me all day to prepare to go to the grocery store. And then I come out and they see me carrying my grocery bags and in a handicap spot. And they're like, what the hell's wrong with you, buddy?" And it's like, well, I'm going to go home and lay on the couch for 3 hours. You know, I can't move, you know? So we get it. But so you're doing all the bucket list stuff. The tumor's not growing. What happens next?
So then I can't remember the date exactly. I could look through it on my phone to grab it. But essentially around 18 months later, so I'm talking about around halfway through last year, I have a weird episode. I have basically one of my really full-on seizures again, and it freaks me out. So I have to go back to get a scan. And my tumor had not grown. It took a massive leap smaller. So that shocked a lot of people because it doesn't happen. Brain cancer doesn't get smaller. It's just designed to get bigger. And as I was saying, the whole concept of it having not moved at all was quite fantastic. If you'd like, I can just look down and find a scanned image with the two side by side, so you can see how big it was for the full 18 months and then how little it became. And then that confused a lot of people, a lot of doctors. So it went a little bit international. And then recently, I got back in touch with Daniel because the whole time had sensory overload as a problem. So visual and audio things were so annoying. Even in this situation right now, the fact that this room is so light, I couldn't have my eyes open. I'd need sunglasses on. I'd need earplugs in for the noise.
Is this because of the geography of that tumor in your brain on that sensory part of your brain? Is that like you think what caused all that? Yeah.
Well, then likely, yeah.
So I've known Daniel, thankfully, for probably 10 years now. I've met him at many different events and things here in Adelaide. We've spoken online several times, but getting to know him for this particular reason, did you want to tell them just a little bit about that while I scroll through and find the tumor getting smaller?
I actually tried to recruit Chris once for my sales team.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I had met him in Adelaide. I was speaking on stage at the National Sales Conference on Emotional Intelligence. So we built a friendship years ago, 2017, probably all the way back then. And then I invited him over to Sydney to come and work for me. And he flew over, but eventually COVID came along and we couldn't continue that project. And so I'd seen his journey and I reached out to him just to check in on him, see how he's doing. And I said, look, bring me up to speed with what you're doing. And he told me about the radiation necrosis and the light and sound sensitivities. I said, I think we've got a solution for you. And so we got him using our technology. And just within 4 days, those light and sound sensitivities disappeared. Took his sunglasses off, took his earplugs out. And as he mentioned here, he can now deal with light and sound. And that just happened in a short period of time, retraining the brain with
Daniel, I don't know if Tom has told you, but we had Garnet on from Neurovisor, and like it was a little bit after your episode, but like you're
It wasn't too long because I started using both technologies pretty
episode,
much like within a week of each other.
That whole thing you did with us was absolutely amazing. In fact, I was reminded when I saw your name on the calendar, I'm like, shit, I never got one for my kids. I got to actually order one of those from you because my kids are dying to do it. Like they think it's the coolest thing ever. But it was so crazy because you told us, you didn't even tell us, you just showed us like this incredibly bizarre thing. And then shortly after, Garnet comes on, and now Neurovisor, I'm using that thing like all the time. And it's like this whole idea of brain tinkering, like summarily, is so fucking cool. And I can't imagine that I made it through 49 years of life never really knowing about it until I started. You know what I mean? It's like fucking like, how can something this cool be this secretive? Like,
it's not a secret once you find out about it. And then you realize the rabbit hole's deep. I was diagnosed with linear sequential learning disability at age 11. And my mum actually sent me a photo yesterday when I was about age 11, my kids looked at the photo and said, "Dad, what's wrong with you? You look like a serial killer."
Oh, wow.
One eye of mine's going over this way, one's going over here. My face is deformed. And I went through 5 years of remedial therapy. And through that process, kind of like what Christopher's talking about with his vision, I was visually impaired. I was seeing things coming from all different angles, and I was also tone deaf. So I'm trying to study and understand music, but I can't even hear it. But once they started to use music as medicine, which we call it, it started to entrain the brain to healthier brain waves. And I started to improve the communication between the left and right hemispheres. And even the psychologist, the childhood psychologist said, Mrs. Tolson, your son's a genius. He's got an IQ of 130 plus, but he's only accessing one hemisphere of his brain.
I mean, come on.
Wow.
Yeah. You're like, that's the weirdest
that's
compliment I've ever gotten in my life.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I got blood dripping out this, an eye going over here.
One side wants to thank you, the other side wants to punch you in the face.
That's a compliment. I'm like, okay, let's fix it.
You're like, oh man. So Chris, I guess, I mean, Daniel or Chris, like whoever, like what made you think of that? Is it your experience personally that got you to say, hey man, let's give this a shot? Or were you just pretty confident right away? You're like, no, this is going
to do it. Yeah.
Well, from my perspective, it was actually Daniel that offered it to me. So he's gone and looked into my history as to what I was doing. We had a chat. I told him what's going on in my life, and he's gone, I've got something that will help you.
The medical system, it does an incredible job at doing what they do. And with our technology, it's complementary. So he said to Christopher, what are these major problems? He's got problems with sleep, his immune system's compromised. Although he's very positive and optimistic, you've got all those unresolved emotions. And we know that unresolved emotions impact the body parts. Anger impacts our heart. Sadness infects the immune system. Fear leads to anxiety and PTSD. Guilt leads, conflict leads to cancer. So I'm looking at both the emotional component and his brain function. And we did a voice analysis. We detected about 1,440 emotional triggers. And then I had my scientific team have a look into his actual brain waves. And so they looked, and they could also identify these cancers and where it was spreading to. But they could also identify the dysregulation in the nervous system that was causing the visual impairment and the sound sensitivity. So what they did, or what we did for him, was we created a specific protocol that reduced the tumor size and would balance out the neurological sensitivities. And all he had to do was listen to a sound frequency therapy, totally passive. All you got to do is put your headphones on for 15 minutes, morning and night, and within 4 days, it cleared up that problem. So
Daniel, did he have to do the 90-second audio as well, or was this all based on... Okay, so you did, Chris.
We did the voice analysis because when we're generating sound frequency immunotherapies, it's not off the shelf. It's like when you go to YouTube, you can listen to frequency stuff, but it's off the shelf. It's not tailored for you.
Sure.
But we actually tailor it for the individual. And there's other things that correlate with it. So we can identify about 14,000 health and genetic issues. And the scientific team said, okay, these are the problems here. Let's design a frequency. Let's reintroduce these healthy frequencies back into his brain, and he'll get healthy really fast.
And it's all due to the tones or lack of tones in your voice.
Yeah, we have a series of musical notes in our voice. And when one of those musical notes are missing, we're going to have dysregulation inside the body. So it's like matter on antimatter. When you reintroduce the signature sound, the body starts to heal.
Now, is the signature sound, as you're saying, is this sort of like a baseline that everyone shares? Or is it like you have to like suss out what each person's baseline or net, sound is?
Yeah. To make a voice sound, it requires about the coordination of about 100 different muscles inside the body. It requires regulation in the vagal tone. And so when we create this sound, it's bringing out all the frequencies in the body. We have brain frequencies, we have organ frequencies. And when we speak, they're hidden inside the voice. I think we've all had the experience where one of our children or one of our friends calls us with bad news. They start to talk, and you can hear in their tone of voice that something's wrong.
Yeah, what's wrong?
You know it's them, but the voice is different. You're like, yeah, I know there's bad news coming. Versus when somebody's just had something really exciting happen, and the tone of voice is really different. So when we're listening to this, the technology is listening to all the organs. It's listening to all the brain frequencies. It's listening to all the chakra tones, and it's analyzing that against big data. So each person has their own signature sound. And it does change over time. Like Tom and I, we've been looking at his signature sound over a 240-day period. And when things have been going good, we can see that his holistic health is strong. And then about August this year, there was a bit of a catastrophe, and his signature sound changed, and his anxieties went up, his stress and burnout went up, his sleep quality went down.
Right.
So it's a moving target. And the goal is just to bring it back into alignment.
Can you keep that sort of reset on ice until they have like a catastrophic breakdown again and just replay the same thing? Or is it like each time?
Look, I think I'm in my third audio tracks right now, and it's interesting. And I was actually going to ask Chris this because I remember reaching out to Daniel going, what the fuck did I just listen to? I couldn't get out of the bathroom. I can't stop crying. Like, it was like 2 days after starting it. And it's amazing that Chris was balanced out in 4 days, because the first two, I'm like, look, we have this concept called the healing crisis, in holistic medicine, not just East Asian medicine. And that's what it felt like. I remember like just asking my wife, could you just hug me for a little? Why? I don't know what's going on. And when my wife started doing it, I hope she doesn't listen to this episode. I'm like, why the fuck are you back in the bathroom? She's like, I can't, like, I'm like, do you have diarrhea? She goes, no, I can't stop going. It was the weirdest thing. And then 2 days later, she goes, I feel pretty good, So it's so weird to me because, like, we talk about this concept of qi in Chinese medicine, and it's all about that's an energy, right? And energy has a frequency, it has a magnitude, it has a force, and well, that could be audio, that could be light, that could be anything. It doesn't have to be constrained to this mystical substance that we refer to in the body, but it certainly penetrates all aspects of your life. And why wouldn't that manifest in your voice? And why wouldn't you be able to treat that with other? We talk about frequency all the time here, Matt, and whether it's EMF or PEMF or red light therapy or audio entrainment or bioacoustics. I mean, it's so interesting to me that I almost feel like we're returning to this. And I'm sorry, I'm kind of on a little diatribe here, but like, monks chanting.
Yeah.
Gregorian
we had the Neurovisor program on Gregorian. That shit sends me deep, bro. Like, I mean, I get like, it's like, especially if you have like noise canceling headphones on and it's just like in your face and there's nothing, you hear nothing but like,
and there's nothing.
Monks chanting. It's like, it penetrates your soul. It's like super powerful. It's crazy.
I'm sorry, Chris, we're doing a commercial for the alignment protocol, right?
One of the problems I have with the protocol is I keep getting an erection.
Could have worse problems, right? I mean, that.
Well, your audio must be different than mine.
I said to my team of scientists, I said, I'm waking up like 3 or 4 times a night with an erection, and they just laughed. I said, what's going on? They said, you're healthy on the inside. Because at around about 7 to 8 minutes in your protocol, Tom, there's anti-aging frequencies in there as well. So it's reversing.
Is that what happened to the gray beard?
That's what's happening. It's reversing the aging process, and it balances out things like testosterone, your cortisol levels start to balance out. And so for men's health, for me, it's like religious that I have an erection like multiple times during the night. And like you were hugging your wife saying, have a hug, I'm tapping my wife on the shoulder saying, wife, you got to wake up.
All right. So, so Daniel, we got to get my wife back on another audio is what I'm saying. But whatever frequencies you got to do
he's got a cock ring that measures nocturnal erections and ties it directly to cardiac health. It's fucking the wildest shit you've ever seen. Like,
Yeah,
exactly.
Well, you should be getting 3 to 4 a night.
He said,
minimum.
Yeah, exactly.
He said he's seen 85,000 erections. He goes, they don't lie. And I was like, that's pretty intense. I mean, yeah, it's just 85,000 erections.
Recently, I was on.
I didn't think this was going to be. I thought we were going to talk about brain cancer, but
I can bring it up. I can talk about erections, but mine's unfortunately on the other side. With my radiation necrosis that I have, I was on such a high dose of steroids, which unfortunately, firstly, gave me manic episodes. Which are, does anyone here know what a manic episode is?
You better tell us.
So you basically don't remember anything that happens, and you become incredibly bizarre. So you act like someone who is not even yourself. This happened to me for 8 straight days, and I was in hospital for that period of time and caused 10 code black, where I needed to be restrained by 6 people.
That sounds like a Tuesday.
Tom,
let me see. Holy
Tom,
shit.
you know how I send you?
Hold on.
I send you screenshots of your.
Oh wait, let's see that. And
all right. So this here,
Jesus Christ,
this picture on this side is the large tumor.
Pull it back just a little bit.
Size for 18
little bit further away. Just a little bit further away.
We can see how much smaller it is.
Yeah, we can see both. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Oh my God, man!
That's how much smaller it got.
Yeah, so for the podcast
really
people out there, it is almost literally half the size.
I've got
easily.
I've got the actual report here. So it went from 8.1 millimeters by 60 millimeters down to 51 millimeters by 32 millimeters.
Wow!
So it jumped down.
That's intense.
Massively. And spent the rest of its time much smaller, which no one told me would happen, and no one really can understand why it happened.
And was this
so
after
quickly and so extreme?
Daniel's protocol, or before, or what was the timing of it with that? Okay.
This was before. So I have become, since getting to Christmas that year, where I was told I wouldn't make it, I've become extremely positive about pretty much everything that can possibly happen to me. So when I am able to do anything in life, like wake up, for example, a day that I wake up and I'm laying in bed and I wake up and go, yay, I'm alive today. How good is that? So I'm so thankful for everything. And I think having a different mindset and still following all of my, everything from the medical system, everything from anyone who has anything to say or do regarding my brain cancer, I was following all of it and trying it all. This is my current problem.
Yeah, what's that?
So I don't know if you can see down here. That is what's called my radiation necrosis. So it's not more tumor. It's not more cancer, which is a good thing, believe it or not. Even though I have a giant unwelcome guest in my brain, that's the thing that caused the crazy issues recently with my massive episodes in the hospital, and they were happening at home as well. So I had 8 days that I had at the hospital that I do not remember
insanity.
A thing from 8 days long, gone. Nothing.
Wow.
So, Tom, you know how we track out the frequency use for you?
Yeah,
and you're really compliant. You're every single day.
Yeah.
Christopher had this big gap in his tracking. And I was like, where's Christopher gone? And I finally got in contact with his wife, and they said, they got him locked down in the hospital because he's had a manic episode. So I'm tracking him every single day, but then there's this big white space. And he said he'd been locked up in the padded room. So although I couldn't see him,
I wasn't allowed
to
have any electrical equipment.
Oh, man.
I couldn't have a phone.
They wouldn't give him his
laptop. They wouldn't give me anything because during my episodes, I was buying stuff online, like spending thousands of dollars on shit that we don't need. So I was buying, I'd literally Google, according to what they were saying, I'd Google the most expensive ... So I was looking up the most expensive chair, the most expensive tent, the most expensive, and I'd buy it. I'd find it and buy it straight away. So I bought all
you must have really
stuff.
good credit, Chris, because I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure none of those transactions would complete for me.
Oh, man. So thankfully, my poor wife, she had to call all of the suppliers and cancel all
I know you were
orders.
super psyched to sell this $20,000 chair to this guy, but cancel it right now, please. Wow.
Yeah, I was. It was insane. So recently I got transferred because I am still on a lot of medication. So it's a pleasure to be speaking because most people with the amount of meds I'm on would be unconscious. So I'm pretty active at the moment, all things considered. But I'm on something called bevacizumab at the moment. Yesterday I had another dose, so it's every 3 weeks I get an injection. And essentially what that's doing is constricting my blood vessels through my entire body. So all of my blood vessels are way tighter than they should be normally. And that's designed to stop blood flow into my brain because it doesn't want my radiation necrosis to grow. And sorry, I missed the point. My first seizure after my radiation necrosis popped up was a seizure so intense that the muscles in my spine tightened so much that they fractured 3 of my vertebrae.
Wow.
So snapped 3 of my spine while my muscles just got really tight while I was laying in bed. And it's still, I'm 17 weeks later. I still have a bit of issues with my back after that one.
Yeah.
But that sucked. I'm glad I was unconscious for the start, but I gained consciousness unfortunately quite quickly, and that pain was dreadful.
That's crazy.
Ow.
But yes, the injection that I'm having. So my IV at the moment, I'm pretty sure I said the name correctly before. That particular treatment was not on the free list of medications until very, very recently. It would have cost me around $100,000 to get this treatment done. And my oncologist, I am the first client he's ever had that's been able to get approved on it. He had to send requests internationally with all of my history about what's happened, what I've got at the moment, how it's been treated, and all the rest. And so having this funky treatment, the side effects to it is if your heart had to beat harder constantly and you felt like you were running a marathon 24/7, your exhaustion levels are through the roof. So I'm so tired. Even before this particular meeting, I spent the last 2 hours laying in bed listening to the stuff from Daniel. So the last 2 hours for me has been quite calm, laying in bed listening to my daytime audio and just relaxing a lot. So spending a lot of time in bed at the moment because I just feel like I've been running.
Wow.
Everything's exhausted. Constant.
How long is that the course of that treatment, Chris? Is this something a rest of your life type thing, or is this a when the necrosis kind of slows down, are you able to come off of this?
Yesterday was my 4th dose, and I have 6.
Okay.
They're 3 weeks apart, so I've only got the 2 more to go. So 3 weeks from yesterday, which actually lands on Boxing Day, the day after Christmas, is session 5. And then halfway through January is my final
And what's
session.
the outcome supposed to be? Just a cessation of that growth?
And all things at the moment so we want to stop that, basically. As you could see in that particular scan that I showed you, it's quite large. It's about this big in the side of but thankfully, the initial assessment was there's more cancer in your brain. Because the way it was scanning and the way that it was swelling around my brain, so this is what the swelling looked like around my necrosis. Just have a look at this picture here.
Yeah.
So you can see that big white patch.
Yeah,
yeah. Side.
Looks like the cancer came back. Yeah.
Yeah. So big problem. That's all swelling. So from this and up and around it, there's all that swelling all around my brain.
No, that doesn't sound fun.
Which was not fun.
At this point, Daniel, like when you see something like this, like what's going through your head from a diagnostician standpoint, I guess is the right. I'm not sure. Yeah. I'm glad you said that because I'm like, what's he going to say? Because I don't even know.
Yeah.
This is crazy. Like, yeah.
What do you even tell?
Right.
Sometimes there's no words for it. There's nothing that computes in your brain. It's just, holy shit. Like I'm looking at there going, how is it possible that something that big can be growing inside of us and we don't even know? Like that's freaky in and of itself. For me, I guess the part that puts us at ease is that we're looking at data, which is really good. So although we're emotional and we're compassionate and we're empathetic for Christopher's situation, we just focus in on the data. And so I have a team of scientists and doctors who are specifically trained in looking at the medical aspect.
Sure.
So, Matt, I can relieve myself of that pressure and put it onto the doctors and say, I need you to analyze this, because it's such a complex situation.
You don't see this one every day. It's not coming across your desk on a regular basis.
I want to... No, you need a whole panel of people looking at it. So my pleasure is that I get to work with Christopher on a therapeutic level. So as they're working on the mind and body level, as they're adjusting the different frequencies, bringing the hormones back into balance and designing the frequencies, I also get to do therapy with Christopher. So I get to see a very different side of Christopher. I see the data side, but I also see the human side when we're releasing emotions and when we're releasing limiting beliefs that have contributed to this situation. So at that stage, it's like, wow, this is really deep. Because a lot of people, they look at the surface structure. But what Christopher and I are doing is we're doing things like regression therapy and regression techniques. And we're going back to the earlier times of his life where there's been significant emotional events that have left an energetic imprint on his body. And we're clearing those out. We're also releasing, maybe Christopher wants to talk about this one, limiting decisions that preceded the cancer. You want to talk about that one that came up, Chris? This will blow your mind of what happens in the mind of somebody throughout their life.
And you'll have to forgive me, because one of the fun side effects of my current experience is memory. I can't remember the name of even the simple fruits that I'm putting in my kids' lunches in the mornings and stuff like that. I'm happy for you to start it so that it can potentially bring some memory back. I'm happy to talk about it, but I seriously cannot remember a lot of things. Like, that's I was having this chat yesterday. I don't remember anything about my wedding day. So I'm married. I cannot tell you anything about my wedding day that isn't a story that I've heard recently from someone else. I don't remember anything.
I know it happened.
I know it happened.
You're like, I'm aware of it's happening, but
I've got 2 children. I don't remember their birth. I don't remember them being young. I don't remember what it was like dealing with them when they were in nappies. None of that. And that's recent. I've got a 6-year-old and a 7-year-old, and I don't remember them being children. They're at school now. I remember them getting. I can tell you what they dressed as because I see that constantly. But my memory is so shocked. But it makes one thing really cool that I found out recently is a lot of people are saying years are so short now. Everyone says this year was so short. I can't believe we're already in December. But because my memory is so short, I don't remember what's been happening, and I cannot believe we're still in 2025. So much has happened. So much has happened this year, and every day, because I take heaps of photos now, so I can look through what I've done. So I spend a lot of my day taking photos, so I can look through the week and go, oh, I got to do that. I was there. Who was that I was with? And then I'll have to figure out who I was with and taking photos of, and all the rest. But doing that means that I get to look through the whole year and think, wow, I've done so much. I've taken thousands of photos this year. How cool is that? And then to think,
so is this something that's going to stick around? Is this like a permanent side effect of the process that you've been through, or is it something that comes back? I mean, do you know? I'm just curious.
Well, I kind of hope it doesn't, to be honest. Memory's fine, but having
that
years
is not bad.
that last way longer is pretty cool. It's pretty good. But I don't know. The particular treatment right now is a really high common reason for having bad memory is my current treatment, and it has gotten a lot worse. I put something in the microwave for 1 minute. If I don't stand there watching it and I walk away for one thing, if I want to get a drink of water or something, by the time the microwave beeps, I couldn't tell you what's in it.
Wow.
So my memory, even for today, I set so many alarms for this meeting. I even messaged Daniel. Is this the right thing? Is this the right time? I had so many things in both of my calendar types on my phone. I had a little note next to my bed. I had everything. I
feel honored that you cared enough to write that many notes to come on our weird show. But I mean, thank you.
Well, I got a family question here. What does your wife? What do your kids think of all this? How are they kind of navigating this while you're going through this?
Well, thankfully, my wife is incredibly active and does a lot of things. She works at the moment. I haven't been able to work for the past 18 weeks. So I had to take a lot of time off, and while I've got my intravenous treatment, I cannot work because I'll get moments where I'm so exhausted I need to just lay down. So I can't work at the moment either. So it's been a long time since I've been at work. She's still working. She drops the kids off at school. She picks the kids up after school. She helps go to the, go to do shopping. I can walk to the shops, but I can only carry what I can put in my backpack in one bag, so I can't do all the shopping.
But you remember how to get home. That's interesting.
She has been, I've done that plenty of times.
Well, it seems like it's almost a short-term memory thing more than long-term.
He's got a great long-term memory.
She'll ask me to do something during the day. I'm sure she's done it today. During today, can you please remember to do this and this? And I have to tell her every time, you need to send me a text message, because then what I'll do when I have a moment is I'll check my text messages and go, okay, yes, that's something I can do, and put it on my little to-do list. Because we've tried physical to-do lists, but then I've forgotten where the to-do list is.
Wow.
So that doesn't help me.
You always have your phone, though, huh?
Yeah.
Chris, you got me here for long-term memory, and I've remembered what it is.
Yeah. Fantastic.
So let me set a frame. The mind makes the body sick.
We've had
have you heard of
3 people
psychosomatic illness?
About this. Yes, it's
beautiful. Years ago, I worked with a builder, and he said to me, "Daniel, this is back-breaking work." Then he has an accident and breaks his back. He comes back to the job, and then he's saying, "This is neck-breaking work. These guys are breaking my neck." Has another accident, breaks his neck. And so when we're working with a technology called timeline therapy, we're listening to the language, the metaphorical. Yeah, what's coming up for you, Tom?
Oh wait, no. I was thinking I got to stop saying this is breaking my balls.
Look out! Look out!
Stop saying that, buddy.
Look out! You know, all of us have this stuff going through our head, and we've got to be very conscious of what we're saying. What we believe in timeline therapy is all diseases are preceded by a limiting decision. So as we're going back through Christopher's personal history, he said to me, Daniel, before this happened, I wanted something unusual and unique in my life. And that's where the conversation had started from. And what did he get? He got something that was unusual. He got something that was so unique in his life. Now, we're not saying that it consciously caused the cancer, but there was this thing that he wanted before the cancer appeared. Like Tom's balls are going to break. Yeah, he's going to quickly change his language because he wants to keep his balls in good health.
Not do that.
I definitely, they haven't done anything but trouble, but I don't need them broken.
You know what's funny, Daniel? I want to ask you something. You said this 2 or 3 times in this show now, but I had a remarkable conversation with somebody who did parts therapy and said that he and his patient had cured her stage 4 cancer by finding out that a part of her, she was a professional, she was a mother, she was a wife, she was the breadwinner in the house, she was the CEO of the company, so she's like kind of like the parent everywhere, right? And he said, there was a part of her, a young part of her that wanted somebody to take care of her. And she didn't want it. And now the other parts of her didn't give a shit. They were all cool with what's happening, but there was this one part. And she has this life-changing stage 4 cancer come out of it. And as soon as she sort of reconciled this, as the story goes that I was told, as soon as she reconciled this part, it just fell off. And I was like, you know what? And the guy who told me this, who was also my practitioner for a while as well, I said, look, what you're asking me to believe here is a little difficult, right? Like let's just lay cards on the table, right? You're telling me that you and this lady cured her cancer by talking to the little girl inside of her. And he goes, well, it more complex, but kind of, yeah. I'm like, you can see how this might be difficult. and I'm sure, people that aren't like Tom and I who get to have these crazy ass conversations on the regular, it's still a hard thing to hear. I know there's probably people listening right now that are like, oh, Jesus Christ, this show just jumped the shark. It just went back. It went sideways. What happened? They were crazy. Now they're really fucking nuts, right? Like, so what is it about that? Why does this guy say it? You've said it 2 or 3 times here. What's that about?
Well, what we know is conflict leads to cancer. And a parts conflict is like having an angel on one shoulder and a devil on the other. And we've all had that angel and devil, and it speaks 2 different things. It wants the same thing for us, but the way it wants to get there, it's like people, they want to be safe, so they invest wisely. People also want to be safe and don't spend any money at all and live like a pauper. there's this constant battle inside of us every day. And Christopher and I did some parts conflicts to identify these conflicting parts within him. Because when those conflicting parts are inside the body, the energy doesn't flow through the body. There's energetic blockages. And wherever that blockages are, the disease starts to show up. So theoretically, is if we can remove that blockage, the energy starts to flow immediately. And with Christopher saying he forgets a lot of this stuff, when we're using techniques like timeline therapy, we want the mind and body to forget. Because as long as it's remembering to do disease, it will recreate disease every single day. But if it can remove those blockages, we don't want to reinstall it. So there's stories of instantaneous healing. First of all, no one can heal you. You've got to heal yourself. The practitioner is just your guide. So if you're willing to do that work and you work around the problem, then I believe if you're dealing with the right mental and emotional blockages and the energetic blockages, you can release that energy and the body starts to heal.
It does.
It sounds like voodoo. I have been working with these types of technologies, and I have seen other people with cancer recover fully from cancer once they got to the root cause. And oftentimes the root cause is psychosomatic. There's a lot of literature out there that says that 85 to 90% of all disease is psychosomatic in nature. There's a great show. It's by a guy named Dr. Nazardin, and he's in Texas, and he deals with people who are over 600 pounds. It's called My 600 Pound Life. And he does what type of surgery is on the body? Some type of surgery on the stomach.
Bariatric surgery.
Bariatric surgery. So he brings them in, he tells them to lose some weight. He does the surgery, and they've gone from 600 to 500 to 400 to 300 pounds. And as soon as they get the stomach surgery, now they're back up to 600 and 650 pounds. And what it is they've worked with the stomach, they've reduced the size of it, but they never dealt with the psychology that led to the eating. And when you look at all of his patients, they all had significant emotional events and traumas in their imprint period. And then that's coming out in uglier ways. I think it was Sigmund Freud who said, repressed emotions never die. They just come out in uglier ways. So whenever we're dealing with these problems, we're releasing the emotions that are attached to the particular organs. Once they disappear, energy flows back, it starts to heal.
I mean, it does, but
sounds crazy. But they've been doing it for 5,000 years in the East.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like
you know, we see new German medicine is like a new thing, like not a new thing, but like a popping on the radar. Frequency therapy is definitely like a newer thing. Like you got all these things that are basically saying the same thing in different ways, or similar things in different ways, right? And yeah, exactly. And it's just like one of those things where I'm like, Chris, I hear your story, and I'm like, I mean, 4-day turnaround sounds like voodoo too, right? Like. That's voodoo.
It was literally every day, every single day. I'd have to have my sunglasses on in the passenger seat of a car at nighttime, earplugs in, communicating with anybody. No matter what I was doing or where I was, it was a different grade of earplug and very strong dark sunglasses. Even sitting here right now would be way too bright for me.
Matt, I had a spontaneous healing recently. I had a problem with my back. I thought it was my sciatica. And this problem was persistent day after day, and the pain wouldn't go away. And I got to a stage where I was very limited to movement because of pain. And then I started to listen to somebody talk about creatine. I thought, creatine, that's just for weightlifters. 20 years ago, it was always creatine and steroids kind of in the same conversation. And I thought to myself, why don't I try that? So I started to megadose on creatine. I started to take about 15 milligrams a day. The first day of creatine, the pain went away. So I went back to my doctor and said, hey, I've been taking this creatine, megadosing 15 milligrams a day. And he said, Daniel, it sounds like your muscles were dehydrated and now they've got more water in there. And nobody had spoken to me about that. But it was just that one thing on top of many other things I'd already tried that brought the spontaneous healing for me. So for me, I keep taking creatine, maybe at the moment, probably 20 megagrams a day, because at 20 megagrams a day, it gets saturation into the brain. It gets out of the muscles and into the brain. and that pain has virtually neutralized. Like I would say, 99%.
And it's funny, we're all sort of chemistry
gone.
sets, right? With Monica Bosnov, who was just on the show, she found nicotine and arthritis and a bunch of other shit just vanished day 2. Like put on a bunch of nicotines, transdermal. And I was like sitting there going, that's just wild. I've taken nicotine a million times. I don't have arthritis, but like it's not like I woke up. I'm like, oh shit, I feel great. You know, like I'm just like, no, I mean, my brain was on fire. It was awesome. But I mean, it wasn't like I didn't, you know, so I guess I don't have knocking on anything I can knock on right now. I haven't needed to put those healing things to the test just yet. Right. Like, so I'm hopeful that I don't ever have to start desperation trying shit. I'd rather just kind of keep the wheels oiled like along the way. Try to avoid that part.
The thing for me, Matt, is we've got to want to live. Sure. And what I've seen with Christopher, he's got a will to live. Mm-hmm. He's not focused on death. He's focused on living. And that's the thing that I've seen with his mindset is, for him, this is a mindset game. It's mind over matter. It's his mind over his body, and he's made a decision that he's going to live. And we've been talking about this in our weekly coaching sessions about what do you want beyond this? He's like, I want to go walking. He started walking. He said, I want to ride my e-bike again. He's riding his e-bike. He set a goal to go camping. He's out there camping. He's living every day.
Chris, do you feel like
most of us are worried about dying?
Do you kind of feel like that's tracking in your mind too?
Absolutely. So I think a big thing there is fear of death has gone away.
Sure.
Because I was told I could be dead already, and now I'm not. The fear of dying has pretty much gone away completely. I've got everything prepared. If I passed away today, I've got everything set up for my family if I go. There's nothing freaks me out and thinks me, oh my God, what if I go away? I'm already, 3 years more than what everyone predicted I'd have. So being able to wake up every day and smile and get my kids breakfasts and lunches ready and chat with them, give them a cuddle and a kiss before they go to school.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a huge win. So every day is a victory. So it feels really good. And the funniest part is a lot of people, I witness them getting upset about things that are so minor in the grand scheme. So people get upset about stuff happening. And I look at them and go, how can you be so upset about something so silly or so minor? And it just baffles me. And I am so thankful for being able to get out of bed in the morning and go and make lunch for my kids.
Well, speaking of your kids, I mean, they're a little young maybe to understand this sort of nuance, but you think that sort of not dwelling on the death side, do you think that's rubbing off on them at all? Like, do you think it's changed their worldview on things? I know they're a little young, but I got to imagine your wife has definitely changed.
Yes. So my daughter is way above mentally than most kids her age. She was there through the initial diagnosis and everything, and we spoke with them. We didn't try and hide anything from the kids or do anything weird. We were telling them, keeping them involved in the most understandable ways. My daughter would watch videos on, what is cancer, how to, there's lots of great children-related videos online on YouTube and things like that. So we were able to find really good sources of information that she could watch. And then she'd find something sometimes on YouTube. And go, Dad, watch this one with me. This is like you. And then I'd sit there and watch it. Yeah, I'm like that one. That's me there, and there. But, these other things are happening. I'm still here. You haven't had to say goodbye. But a part of my initial complications when I was told such lethal diagnoses, I had some videos recorded. So I had an 8-hour recording session where I'd record small shorts for my kids. So every little event that I could think of for both children, I recorded videos for them both directly with their names in them. And I'm talking really obvious ones and extremely bizarre, silly ones. So the first time they've broken a leg, the first time they've driven a car and got a speeding ticket, that when they get married, when they have kids. So I recorded all of these videos for them. We've still got them. But this was right at the beginning of my medical battle. So this was right at the end of my first 6 weeks, just after Christmas. That's when I got the recordings done. So we've got all of those. They're sitting, I've got them all recorded, put them onto drives and given them to my 2 best friends. So if anything ever happens to me, they've got those now. And they're all labeled. But the cool thing is, knowing that I've actually recorded a number of them that have already experienced in real life, like their birthdays. So I'd, say, happy 4th birthday. Well done getting through, that year. You get to start school next year. Do a nice little quick happy birthday to them for that year. And that was their video for that day. But now, realistically, I've passed a lot of those events now.
Right.
They've broken their first bone. They've done a couple of things now that my videos that I recorded for them, we've lived through them now. So even though I recorded them for a worst case scenario, the fact that they've lived through some of those really important lessons.
There was a movie in the 90s.
It was amazing.
It is.
So
there's a movie
kind of touching
from the 90s with Michael Keaton in it called My Life. And he was dying of cancer and actually recorded on a VHS, one of those movie cameras that's the size of like, like
the big old ones. Yeah, that you got to throw over the shoulder.
His kids had to hit a ball off of a tee. It was really, really fucking emotional stuff. But like, that movie was like a long time ago.
Tom can do that.
Actually, the guy who introduced Tom and I, his daughter, and he made I can't remember, Joe's going to kill me. I can't remember the name of the Fuzzy something like that, but it was basically a website where you could leave future videos for loved ones for any reason. It didn't have to be terminal. Fuzzy or something like that. Yeah, but it's like this idea where you can kind of like bank something for the future and send it to them. And I'm like, I think it's such a powerful thing. And I love that you did that because like, that's like kind of the last thing on probably most people's minds in that situation. They're like, dude, I'm in ultra self-preservation mode right now. I'm not thinking about videos. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I love that you went to that. Like, that's great.
Exactly.
I mean, and not to mention probably very difficult. I can't imagine having to film that.
There are a couple there. I hope my wife doesn't watch this. I made it so that there was a couple videos that I actually spoke to some of my friends and my family as well. But as far as everyone else pretty much knows, is that I did it for the kids. But there were 2 videos that I did explicitly for my wife, and they were, they were about 5 minutes long each. And they were really important to me. So I did that as well. So it wasn't just to the kids that I did those recordings. I did them for everyone that's made a huge difference in my life. So I mean, that's,
and there's something really, Daniel, you're talking about holding on to stuff, right? Like, I mean, there's got to be something so wildly cathartic about getting all of that off your chest. You know what I mean? Like, just, and Chris, I mean, I'm like just putting myself in your position there, and just I could feel the weights pulling off of my chest as I would make videos of those on my own. And I'm, to my knowledge, not dying of cancer, but just saying that out loud.
Yeah. So that's what I was saying earlier about, overall, I've gotten rid of the fear. I've got everything covered. If I do pass, then I've got everything covered, everything's sorted, everything's okay. But, I still don't want to miss out on anything. I still want to be here, but I've covered everything just in case. And doing that made me really confident and very happy about everything that I am doing. So every day is more appreciated, and I'm thankful for it. So, yeah, it's been an interesting little mental change, because trying to stay positive is really hard for a lot of people. I can tell you, for me at the moment, I'm having a bit of difficulty because I'm out of work for 18 weeks and I have to spend a lot of time in bed because I'm exhausted all the time and I'm not physically active like I want to be.
Yeah, there's that.
I still get to wake up every day.
It's the little things,
so that's
Chris.
A win.
It's the little things, right?
So, and
yeah. No, that's got to be
the
tough. It's 18 weeks is a long time. I mean, I'd be going crazy.
Yeah. And during this time as well, because of the particular medication I'm on antipsychotics, anti-seizure medication. I'm on a large list of meds. And even I love drinking alcohol. So I love drinking gin.
You got a friend in me, bud.
You got a friend for life in Matt there.
Wow, delicious.
Oh my God,
amazing.
I love it.
So many variations.
Oh my God.
And I love drinking coffee as well. I love a good coffee. But I'm not allowed to drink coffee or alcohol. I have not had any for 18 weeks of either. So even though I haven't been able to have any, I'm excited about the first one. So I've got something to look forward to. Whereas most people go, I can't believe I can't have an alcohol, or I can't believe I can't have a coffee. I'm going, I can't wait for my first coffee. When
it's
the
going to be a
doctors say
busy
you
day
can have
for
that
you.
coffee,
You're going to wake up to
I'm
like
going to feel on top of
nine
the world.
cups of
Yeah,
coffee
it's
in
going
the
to be the best
morning.
coffee you ever had. Yeah.
Like,
that is going to be the absolute best. And as far as alcohol goes, since starting drinking alcohol, I've never had a gap in alcohol this long.
Yeah.
So as far as my life goes,
okay.
and for your information, I'm 33. So I haven't ever had a gap in alcohol this length. And the fact that I've been able to do it makes me feel pretty proud. But I can tell you, to have a nice glass full of ice with a beautiful gin poured over that ice and letting it chill and just drinking it straight,
oh man,
another amazing thing to look forward to. So I've got a reason to keep going. There's another one. So staying positive about what can happen at the end of all of this is amazing. I get to drink my coffee, I get to drink some gin, and I'm going to be a happy man.
You know what I love about that too? This might sound silly, but like
that's great.
Every night when I go to bed, I'm like, oh, what didn't I get done today? I don't necessarily say I can't die tonight because of X, Y, and Z, but in my mind, I'm kind of thinking I can't die tonight because I didn't get this done or that done or that done. And it feels like you've sort of wiped the deck on that situation, right? It's not that you don't have a to-do list or whatever, but it's like there's not this like attachment to those things on the to-do list with like a grander mission of living, right? Like they're completely separated, and I feel like it's really easy to commingle those. You know what I mean? I
like using the audio from Daniel. So in the mornings, it helps me plan my day. So while I'm listening to the bunch of weird noises, I'll lay down first thing in the morning before the kids are even up or my wife's up out of bed. I'll be laying there for about 20 minutes thinking about what can I do today? What's going to be the first thing? What's important? What have I got to do? And then I'll just lay there, plan the day, think about the things that I'm going to do, and those help my memory. So if I'm just laying there in the morning and I think about doing the same thing about 5 to 10 times, then usually I can remember it. It still sometimes slips, but usually I can remember the things on my to-do list. Do I need to scoop the dog poo out the back? Is that the right day? Am I changing, there's simple things that I try to remember doing. Am I doing the dishwasher today? Do I have to fold washing? What are my things that I'm doing around the house today that are going to help? So I do that, and then at the nighttime ones, when I listen to the night music, I recount the things that I accomplished in the day, and I get excited about the things that I was able to do. This is going to be one of them, this meeting, this catch-up, this awesome little conversation. Great. I'm going to be thinking about this tonight, because then I hope that I remember it. Because I'm going to take a photo. I've already taken one, but I'm going to take a couple of photos of the nice little layout that we have with the four of us, just so I can go, I was on a really cool chat online, and I got to talk to them about what I've gone through. Daniel got to talk about how he's helping me and all the other fun stories. You were talking before, Daniel, about the whole, when you think about things, they happen. You mentioned one of them popped into my memory, and that was the one where there was a group that when the guy with the staff says someone's going to die. Can you say that one? You know that one?
That's so it's I don't remember the tribe, but it's pretty much if somebody does something that's going to either get them banished,
they point the bone.
They point a stick at them. The bone.
The tribes in New Guinea.
And within a month, they're dead.
I have no idea what you're talking about there. Walk me through that.
So they have, well, first of all, they're probably, like, if we throw that Dunbar number out there, they're probably in a tribe that is that close and that tight knit. But if you do something that is in that culture unforgivable, the chief or whatever his title is points a bone at you,
and your brain just makes it happen.
He says you're going to die, and they normally kick you out of the village, but you're dead within a month.
Daniel, is that just like their brain being conditioned to be like, once that bone comes at me, that's it, we're done?
Yeah, it's a particular values level. And so, for example, here in Taiwan, we worship the spirit world. So before the fishermen go fishing, they go pray to the rock. They go pray to the rock god. And if they pray to the rock god, they go out and they catch a lot of fish. But if they didn't pray to the rock god, they catch no fish that day. So it's a spiritual realm that they live in. We normally call it values 1 or values level 2 type thinking. So within their world, energy is very strong. So words, what's the right way to say it? Words can be used as weapons. That's what I want to say. They can either put curses on people for poor health, or you can restore health with words. It's like, just want to mention something Chris was saying here. The unexamined life is not worth living. And what Christopher's doing is every night he's examining his life
all day when he's talking.
He's looking at it and going,
this is like,
yeah. Despite
sure
all of this, like, there's good stuff happening. And that's one of the most important things in emotional intelligence. The person who doesn't reflect on their life doesn't have a life.
Mm-hmm.
But Christopher's looking at his and going, this is worth living. Like, I got so much more stuff to do. I've done a bunch of stuff today. Like Matt said, I got things on the to-do list.
Got more shit to do, man.
Tomorrow. I got more stuff to do. And in goal setting, what I've found, Matt, is most people who don't set goals don't have a future. And those people are slowly dying. But the people who have set goals and they got long-term goals for 50, 60, 70, 80 years, these people just seem to live forever because there's always something out there in the timeline that they're looking for. When I do my regression techniques with my clients, we do past life regressions because we have a belief that some things get passed down through the genealogical bloodline. And science proves that limitations can be passed down through 3 and 4 generations. I also believe that we carry things through from past lives. And some people can have a wonderful life this life. Nothing major's happened to me, but I've got all these complications. And when we do past life regressions, people go back into their past history and identify times in their life where there was a significant emotional event that has blocked them and repeated in this lifetime. So that's one part of a regression, looking at the past. But you can also do a future regression. And what I do is I take my clients out to the time of their death. Now, by doing that, they can go out as far as they want into the future. And some people have gone out there and like, holy shit, I'm going to die at 50. I don't want that. So they start pushing it back 30, 40 years. They're like, I'm going to live to 100. And what happens is every single day, they're going in a new direction. Previously, they were moving towards death. Now they're moving towards life and longevity. And the mind knows. So psychosomatic illness is saying, I don't have time for this illness. I don't have time for this problem.
Right.
I'm living past this. And this is what's happening with Christopher. When we're doing the timeline therapy techniques, the only way that we can have an anxiety in the future is if we have an unresolved fear in the past. So we've spent a lot of time releasing those fears. So if the fear doesn't exist in the past, it can't exist in the future. So now he's not worried about it. He's not fearing death. He's living life. And then once we release the emotion, he goes out in the future and he says, this has changed. This has changed. Those emotions are no longer there. And he comes back to now. And his mind has a new programming. Instead of being programmed for illness, it's getting reprogrammed for better health.
One of the fun things, you nailed something there. When I saw the average lifespan of this particular brain cancer, because I have stage 3 astrocytoma is what it's called, the average lifespan is around 2 years. It's the average, and I was given a very short because of the rate of growth and the size of the location. So I was given a really short dose, but the average lifespan is around 2 years. I want to set a new record for how long someone lasts with this brain cancer. That's what I want to do, because that would be really cool.
Like at that stage, and this is no offense to anybody, but when a doctor diagnoses you that you've got 6 weeks to live,
totally,
they program you.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's not their decision to make. It's my decision to decide if I live or die. And if I want to die, that's up to me. But if I want to live, that's my choice. So what we're better off to do is tell people what's possible rather than what's
and
not.
And honestly, the words do. The words really do matter. I mean, something as silly as like, look at news headlines, right? Clickbait's always the bad part, right? Like the 2 studies on AI recently. Yeah, but
well, the thought triggers the feeling.
Two studies on AI. One says 95% fail. The other said 3% success. Which one sounds like? Say it's the same fucking thing. Like it's the same exact thing, and yet
it's the same study. Yeah,
I want to read the second one. I'm like, oh, that's positive. There's like a 3% success.
Yeah, you know what's funny that you're mentioning these terminal diagnoses in Japan, and this is what my mentor told me. So I don't know if it's still the case now, but if you were in the hospital and you had some severe condition, you had, instead of your emergency contact, you also had, here's the person we're going to give the news to. And they're going to determine your mental outlook. They're going to determine your fortitude. This is going to be somebody close, personally, family, close friend, that's going to be able to tell whether or not you're going to be able to say, nah, fuck that, I'm not doing that. Or if you're going to roll over and die. And then if they decide not to tell you, they'll say, here's what we're doing. Wow. Here's the treatment. Don't worry about it. You know, but I'd also be a little weird if they were like, so Frank called.
It's not going to be good.
Like, shit.
Yeah. If Frank's on the phone, it's not good.
Like, it's got to be bad.
Tom, in 1998, I had an accident and I tore my posterior cruciate ligament.
Yeah.
And I went to the doctor. He had a look. He did his MRI. He cleaned it up. And he said, look, you've got knees of a 60-year-old man. Never ride again.
Yeah.
If you ride again, you'll do more damage to your knee. Now, I wanted to reject it consciously, but because he was coming from a place of authority, it was like the word of God.
Yeah.
Almost a year to the day I was back in there with the same injury. And then I got a little bit smart. Fool me once, fool me twice. And I got back in there and I said, hey, here's your job. Your job is to fix my knee. And that's all I need from you. It's up to me of what I want to achieve after this. So after that, that's when I got all my success in my sports. I competed at the extreme games. I became an Australian champion athlete. I never had a problem with my knee again. But that word was used as a weapon. And it got in my mind and it became my focus. And whatever we focus on, we attract. So if we focus on what we don't want, it's like when we drive to work and we're late, oh, fuck, I hope I don't get a red light. I hope there's no slow drivers in front of me. You get every single red light. You get every bad
asshole. Driver. Yeah.
But if you just focus and say, I'm going to get here, I'm going to get all the green lights, I'm going to park out the front, and maybe 60% of the time that happens, you get the parking spot out the front, you're like, this is bloody awesome. I'm going to focus on what I want. And at the core of neuro-linguistic programming, the teaching is focus on what you want. Because if you focus on death, you will get death. But if you focus on life, you'll end up with life. And we just got to choose that focus. And I think for anybody who's following Christopher's journey, he's chosen his focus. He chose his destiny. He said, I might have something in my life that's unique, but there's something beyond that. And that's that spiritual component I see in Christopher. He's got high levels of courage, very high levels of courage, and he's got that willingness to live. And this is the difference between dying and living. He wants to live not just as a physical being, not as an emotional being, but as a spiritual being.
And then that you just checked every box on those, like, people that live forever, right? Sense of purpose, sense of community. I mean, it's like basically you rack them all up. Yeah,
sense of purpose. Right? Yeah.
Have you read the book by Dr. Viktor Frankl, Man's Search for Meaning? It was written about the Holocaust. Everybody went through the same Holocaust experience. Some people came out prosperous, living their best life. And others came out and they had a terrible life of desperation. And Viktor Frankl said the only difference was the meaning they attributed to that experience. And the people who became prosperous and successful, they said, because of the Holocaust, I'm going to become a better person and I'm going to live a super life. The other people said, because of the Holocaust, I'm going to live a life where I'll never have enough. And those words predicted their future. They got exactly what they wanted. And that was the difference. Same experience.
That is crazy. So words. Chris, like, armed with all of this, like, how do you feel about, I mean, I could absolutely talk to you guys about this forever, but how do we get you?
Yeah, I think we gotta bring it home.
What's your thoughts for the future? And, you know, how I'm curious where you're at therapeutically. This is super fascinating stuff with Daniel.
Well, getting back to work will be great. But I think that'll be a minor stint. My plan, or what I'd really like to do, is create a charity that helps kids with cancer. That's what I'd really love to do. So I want to start it here in South Australia and take care of every single family with kids, and then spread that to the whole of Australia, then go global, take on New Zealand and then the US. So that's what I'd love to do, is just come up with a really clever way where 100% of donations goes 100% to
an introduction for you,
the family that you want to donate
to.
I was immediately thinking when he got on, I'm like, we got to introduce him to somebody.
On the show, the oldest, I think the longest surviving brain cancer patient in the U.S. And he's our age, so he's like older than you. I think he's 48, 49. His name's also Matthew. So it's kind of funny. He goes by Matthew. I go by Matt, but still.
I was calling him
Matthew
MZ.
if it's my grandmother or if somebody's pissed off at me. But he's started a cancer super PAC here in the U.S. Basically, is what he's starting. It's really intense, actually.
What a champion!
He's got an
equally
you know what?
amazing
Not
story,
so dissimilar.
Chris.
He was a concert pianist and just couldn't arpeggiate anymore one day, and that's how he found it. And
that's how he found it.
Frequency change, and he, because he had something that required such fine-tuned precision, it was immediately obvious when that was no longer present, because he'd been doing it for years and years and years. And if you're off by a 300th of a second, your fingers are like, what happened? That didn't feel right. That wasn't the right thing.
What'd you do? Yeah.
But we actually, Tom and I were on his show, and it was awesome too. Like, it's just, he's a real great guy, and I literally cannot wait to introduce you guys. Yeah. Be awesome.
We'll definitely make the introduction there. Daniel, why don't you? Oh, so please, sorry, Chris. We'll get to you in a second.
Wait your turn, Daniel.
No problem. One thing that really bothers me about a lot of charities is if you donate, say, $100, you end up getting about $17 of those dollars go towards the actual thing you're trying to donate to.
Yeah.
Whereas I want to make a charity where 100% of a personal donation, 100% of that goes into the family that needs it. And all of the other expenses to the business, because businesses will need expenses, because everyone working for that company will need pay. There'll be a lot of requirements for income, but that will come from businesses themselves. So businesses can donate to the company.
Yeah, separate.
And that will help the company run. And any person that donates, that means 100%. If they donate $100, a family is going to receive $100 from that donation. So that's where awesome. I want it to work really well.
Well, Christopher, I don't know if I told you this. We have the Success Charity in our business. And your charity, what we're doing for you is directly paid for by our customers. So whenever somebody's purchasing consulting or coaching or frequency health products, that's going directly to fund what we're doing with you. So it can be done.
It's almost like you two should work together.
Brilliant.
That's great.
That's been tantalizing.
You guys have similar accents.
The same problem Chris was talking about. Ninny and I, we do a lot of charity work, but we also wanted our own so that we could do it directly with people and using our own skill sets. And I think that's really important is that barrier. It's like, it's the business model of the charity is the problem. The intention's good, but it's the model that doesn't work. Yeah. So we like to start it at home. And Chris was very good to me years ago when I was building my business. He flew over from South Australia to Sydney, and unfortunately COVID come around. So he paid it forward many years ago with good intentions, this is our way to support him.
Yeah, that's so amazing. I guess, Daniel,
that's amazing.
Your turn. Where do we find you to tell you? I'd love for people to learn more about what you're doing with Chris.
Let's tell people where to send them.
Do it for themselves.
Send them to you.
Yeah. Come and see me. Alignmentassessments.com is my website. You can find out what we're doing there. We've got lovely medical advisors like Dr. Tom on the advisory board to steer us in the right direction and to make sure that we're doing the right thing. And have a look at what we're doing. It's emerging technology. It's coming to the market really fast. And if you've got a health concern that you haven't been able to solve, let us have a look at your voice. And through voice, we can do analysis. We can get millions of data points. And we've got teams of doctors who can look at your data and help you understand these diseases that haven't been diagnosed. Because things like Parkinson's disease and Alzheimer's, we can actually detect 10 to 15 years
I gotta tell you,
advance.
We pimp you out on this show probably every 3 episodes. It's fucking crazy. We're like, dude, this guy's got this thing. You just read a fucking Chinese menu for 90 seconds and it's fine.
And even our to guests a lot as well, not just mentioning it on the show, it's something, dude, you gotta check this person out.
Are geeking out about on the regular
predictive health. For me, when I was diagnosed with linear sequential learning disability, I had a lot of problems processing information, and I believe that those problems existed in my mind for many years, well beyond the teenage years. I was even struggling in my early 30s and late 40s to understand information, to process it. Mm-hmm. So this technology, what it does is it synchronizes both left and right brains. So for me, I can now absorb information so quickly. I can retain it in my short and long-term memory. I can make these wonderful connections. And it's because of that technology is constantly bringing my brain back into alignment. Mm-hmm. And I feel that the older I get, the healthier I'm becoming. We have a protocol called a sales protocol. I designed it for salespeople because they have to deal with anticipatory anxiety every day. They've got to deal with rejection every day. And 2 things that kill sales success. One is sleep. Salespeople who have poor sleep produce 50% less outbound calls. Salespeople who have low levels of energy earn 13% less money.
Right.
So I was like, this is a major problem. I'm going to solve that. So I started to use this technology for myself, and I had so much energy that I started going to the gym twice a day for an hour. And I was saying to my wife, I said, this protocol is so powerful that my motivation levels, but the energy in my body is so high. She's like, you're going to the gym all the time. I said, I know, I can't stop. Eventually I had to stop using the protocol.
Yeah, between that and your erections, your wife's like, dude, listen, chill the fuck out, buddy.
You just gotta calm it down right now, bud.
Yeah.
So I've got her on the sales protocol, and I got my kids. And so our whole family's on that journey together. And
do you ever take the garbage out more or wash my car more? I can give my kids, we could dial that in a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's get them on the sales assessment. They'll talk nonstop.
Gentlemen, I love you both. Thank you so much for coming on.
This is great, guys.
Chris, your story's bananas. I just really inspiring, man. I mean,
really inspiring too, man.
It's always good to hear, somebody get through something that's really challenging, because, there's all these lessons if you're paying attention in life, and like something like that. If people who hear your story and don't learn like 87 new things, like, you're just not fucking listening. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, I just say, I don't know. So, but man, thank you so much.
And it's funny, Daniel just spoke. I work in sales. I've worked in sales.
Right, so you might not need help. Man, I thank you guys so much. And, I think it's already Friday there, so happy Friday to you guys. So yeah, well, not all of us. Not all of us can have coffee. Let's not.
Yeah, Chris. Yeah, you gotta tell us how that first coffee tastes, man.
We're gonna want a picture of that first gin, maybe a video if you have a couple of them, because it could be funny.
Yeah. We'll call us in 6 weeks, man.
I hope it's that long.
I'm crossing them all for you, buddy. All right, guys. Yeah. Enjoy. Take care. Bye.
Take care. Fellas.
Great to meet you all.
Be subversive, irreverent.
Health is wealth, but you knew that.
Everybody knows that.
But so is following us on social media at Irreverent Health. And check out our website for more exclusive content at irreverenthealth.com.
Oh, I like this.
Thanks for tuning into this episode of Irreverent Health.